Turaki, Makinde, Bala Muhammad, others chased Wike's faction out of PDP secretariat. Army chief visits Kebbi, others troops to intensify rescue of abducted schoolgirls. Plateau tanker drivers protest poor leadership, denounce membership of Nupeng. And away from Nigeria, Congo minister, 19 others survive plane crash. Hello, good evening and welcome to News Update on Trust TV. I am Dorcas Yakubuzala. We begin with political matters. Political thugs swung machetes in broad daylight. Police fired tear gas again and again. 2 serving governors, the newly elected national chairman, and the FCT minister Nyesom Wike stood firm as a raw show of political muscle played out at the headquarters of the PDP in Abuja. Trust TV's Shafiu Suleiman followed the chaos, the stalemate, and the voices behind the clash. The report.
2 meetings. One was the first session of the newly elected national leadership with the governors of Oyo and Bauchi present. The other was an emergency BOT meeting called by the Wike faction, led by Abdurrahman Mohammed. It created the perfect figure. The confrontation quickly turned rough. Thugs clashed with machetes. Police struggled to hold the line as tempers rose.
Yes. Stay here. Stay here, camera. Expensive. Stay there. Hey, carry it.
Yeah, it's a warlike situation right here at the Wadata Plaza, headquarters of the People's Democratic Party, with factions of the PDP trading superior brigandage, if you can call it, political brigandage, with each trying to outdo each other. The first group of the elected governor of the elected chairman of the party were here after thugs were dispersed. They addressed the press, and shortly another set of thugs came in, overpowered the security operatives, and of course made way for the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, Nyesom Wike. Right now as we speak, both journalists and security are at the crossfire.
Even with the tough figures present, tension did not drop. Wike held his pace. The 2 governors refused to leave. The crowd grew restless until control slipped.
Some imposters who have been expelled by the convention, which is the highest decision organ of the party, came to cause commotion. And you can see the minister of the FCT coming himself, in person, being backed by the police. We are surprised because at the point when the police allowed us in, our chairman praised them for impartiality. But here we are. We are here to sit in to see what will happen. Our property, we have been tear gassed as governors. We have been molested in spite of our immunity in time and whatever that we have as leaders in our own right with our chairman. Well, it is for the nation to gauge the kind of democracy we have, the kind of leadership that we have. I will advise the presidency that it should not keep people who are no longer useful in terms of managing the political space, managing our diversity, creating unity and governance. We don't want to cause trouble to anybody. Yes, we are in the opposition. We should be allowed to survive. The international community should know what we are going through.
I want to call on President Trump. What is at stake is not just genocide against Nigerian Christians. He should come and save democracy in Nigeria. Democracy is under threat. I'm calling on all other developed nations, all advanced democracies, come and save Nigeria, come and save democracy. Because I cannot understand how a serving minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria will be leading talks, armed talks, and then with the active connivance or support of the police to come and create mayhem here. I have said it, we are willing to lay down our lives, to protect our office, to protect our democracy, to protect our mandate.
With the crisis deepening and talk of external interest from powerful quarters, many analysts now warn that the road to 2027 could be messy for the PDP. Shafiu Suleiman, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Away from political matters, the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Waidi Shaibu, has directed troops of Operation Fansenyama to intensify efforts, to secure the release of students abducted from Government Girls Comprehensive Senior Secondary School, Magai in Donko Wasogu local government area of Kebbi State. According to a statement on Tuesday by the Media Information Officer of Operation Fansenyama, Captain David Adeusi, the Chief of Army Staff gave the directive on Monday during an operational tour of Kebbi State. Addressing frontline commanders and troops, General Shaibu charged them to conduct intelligence-driven operations and maintain relentless day and night pursuit of the abductors.
We will continue day and night until we find these people. Is that clear? Yes, sir. We'll do what? Day and night. It is when we find these children that we can now say that yes, we have done our job. So for the commanders here, we leverage on intelligence so that we conduct an intelligence-based mission to rescue these girls. It has become a pattern that the bandits they prey on soft targets. If they know you are in a location, they won't come there. Or they will brace up for a fight. And you can defeat them, can't you? Yes. I'm asking you. Yes.
Still talking security, the Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Sunday Aneke, has reaffirmed the commitment of the Nigerian Air Force to protecting civilians and minimizing collateral damage during air operations in the Northeast. He also pledged enhanced training and increased air power for effective counter-terrorism operations. He made the remarks during an operational tour of Borno State. Trust TV's Beatrice Kuritsi has more.
It is the first operational tour of the 25th Chief of Air Staff in Maiduguri since his elevation to the new rank. Following a briefing with senior officers at the Air Force Base, he proceeded on a courtesy visit to the governor of Borno State, Babagana Zulum. During the visit, he assured of operational readiness, the strategic application of air power support, stabilization efforts, and strengthened measures to protect civilian populations while minimizing collateral damage at the front lines.
IDK has intensified its air-to-ground integration and training efforts to ensure maximum effect when air assets are called upon to support ground operations. Due to the limited assets we are putting the system now where if we need help from one theater, we will direct, solve the problem, and go instead of maintaining one static. So we are adapting as the situation arises. Initiatives that have improved tactical coordination and reduce the risk to friendly forces. We have also continued to expand our intelligence, surveillance, and cognizance efforts in the theater to enhance target identification, protect civilians, and I repeat, minimize collateral damage.
In his response, Governor Zulum called for the immediate restoration of military operations along the Lake Chad shores as well as the Timbuktu and Mandara mountain enclaves. He lamented that the region has witnessed no significant military operations for years.
Yes, we do used to have air interdictions and others, but a thorough military operation that involved the naval, the air force and ground troop, purposely intended to rid up the Tumbus, has never been done. And as at now, this area has provided a safe haven to the terrorists. This is one of our major problems now. Furthermore, we still have two enclaves, the Sambisa Game Reserve as well as the Mandara Hills. We need a coordinated attempt with a view to addressing these challenges in these three areas.
The visit of the new Air Force Chief many believe represents a renewed strategic partnership and is expected to strengthen the fight against terrorism across the Northeast region. Beatrice Kuruti, Trust TV News, Maiduguri.
In other news, the Nigerian Bar Association (NBA) has condemned the abduction of schoolgirls in Kebbi State and the killing of military officers in Borno, describing the incident as further evidence of rising insecurity across the country. In a statement on Tuesday, NBA General Secretary Mobolaji Ojibara said the association was alarmed by the abduction of 25 schoolgirls from Government Girls Comprehensive Secondary School, Magai, in Kebbi State. Armed attackers reportedly invaded the school hostel Sunday night, killed the school's vice principal, Malami Hassan Yakubu Makuku, and engaged security operatives in a gunfight before fleeing with the students. The NBA said the attack reflects a long-running pattern of mass abductions and unchecked violence in northern Nigeria. The association also referenced the killing of Brigadier General M. Uba, who died on Monday after ISWAP fighters ambushed troops in Borno State. NBA President Mazi Afam Osigwe urged the federal government to launch a time-bound rescue operation for the abducted schoolgirls and order a public inquiry into the security lapses that led to the ambush that killed Brigadier General Uba and other troops. Now, 44-7 federal lawmakers from across Nigeria's geopolitical zones have written President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, urging him to use his constitutional powers to secure the release of detained IPOB leader Nnamdi Kanu. In a two-page letter and resolution issued under the platform of concerned federal lawmakers, the legislators called on the president to direct the Attorney General of the Federation to discontinue Kanu's prosecution and to convene an all-inclusive political dialogue aimed at addressing underlying national grievances. A lawmaker said a political solution was necessary for national reconciliation, noting past government negotiations with various militant and agitating groups. They also cited multiple domestic court rulings and international tribunal pronouncements in Kanu's favor, as well as growing public support for his release. The letter was signed by 44 House of Representatives members, including Ikenga Imo Oguchinyere, Obi Ogwacha, Murphy Osaro, Peter Akpanke, Mudashiru Lukman, Paul Namechi, and others. The Federal High Court in Abuja has convicted and sentenced the suspended Dean of the Faculty of Law, University of Calabar, UNICAL, Professor Cyril Ndifon, to 5 years imprisonment for sexual harassment. Delivering judgment on Monday, Justice James Omotosho held that the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC, proved counts 1 and 2 against Ndifon beyond reasonable doubt. The court sentenced him to 2 years on count 1 and 5 years on count 2 to run concurrently with no option of fine. The second defendant, lawyer Sonny Anyau, who was added to the amended charge for allegedly attempting to pervert justice, was discharged and acquitted on both counts linked to him. The judge ruled that the prosecution failed to establish any wrongdoing on his part. Justice Omotosho said the court was convinced that Ndifon pressured a female student identified as TKJ to perform immoral acts and send him obscene images, noting that the professor's testimony lacked credibility. Moving on to more stories, and now in Plateau State, where petroleum tanker drivers PTD have staged a protest to denounce their membership of the Nigerian Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas Workers, NUPENG, citing poor leadership and lack of concern for their welfare. Speaking at the Mr. Ali Park Garage in Bassa local government area, the drivers said their decision followed years of poor representation by NUPENG, which they alleged only shows interest when it benefits the union. Trust TV's Ado Musa completes the report.
The protesters said their continual loyalty to NUPENG has been to the detriment of the petroleum tanker drivers nationwide, arguing that Becoming independent as PTD would allow their leaders address their challenges more effectively. They complain that many of their colleagues are languishing in various prisons without any intervention from NUPEN officials. The drivers also lamented that tanker drivers across the country work without appointment letters and can be dismissed at will by tanker owners. According to them, salaries remain poor and NUPEN has shown little or no concern.
Enough is enough. We are here demonstration for the separation from NUPEN because enough is enough. NUPEN has been hijacking us for many years. Formerly, when we are alone, we work very hard. We see many things that PTD do to us. Most of the drivers work very hard, and our leaders are controlling us and leading us. But now that we are under NUPEN have been hijacking us. No good salary, no good salary, no good jobs, and most of the drivers have been complaining. Like most of them are not drivers. NUPEN. Most of them are not drivers. Not drivers. They carry capital, come and give him as a chairman.
So we are the one now, we are against NUPEN. Because NUPEN is cheat us in the country. He don't turn us to slavery. We don't have right. We don't get road. We don't have better salary. We don't turn us. We cannot do anything. So now we are stand for PTD. So we are against our national. Let our former leader come back. We need them.
For years, I have not received my salary because of shortages recorded whenever I load fuel. We are always asked to pay for these shortages, which we cannot afford, and NUPEN has never intervened. Tanker owners have not increased our salaries, and the union says nothing about it. Responding to the development, the state chairman of PTD and NUPEN, Yawale Muhammad, said issues can be resolved amicably if raised through the proper channels. He stressed that the aggrieved drivers had never formally presented their complaints to NUPEN.
Which for me, making that protest does not make sense. Whatsoever is happening, we are one. We are all tanker drivers. Let them come. We are the leaders of the tanker drivers. I'm the chairman here. If they have any issue, they should come and meet me. These are their problems. When they bring out their problems, we will now take it off to the NUPEN and tell them that this is the complaint of our drivers. I'm not aware of this of their protests. I'm not in support of what they have done. I'm still under NUPEN, and I will continue to be under NUPEN here in Plateau State because I'm the leader here.
While the chairman insists his doors remain open for members to air their grievances, some of the drivers maintain that they no longer want to remain under NUPEN. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
Away from Plateau State, residents of Oremeji in the Shasha area of Alimosho local government, Lagos State, were thrown into panic after street urchins stabbed a Nigerian Air Force officer. Community sources said the incident began after a confrontation between the officer, who was not in uniform at the time, and some boys at a football pitch. A resident identified simply as Baba recalled that some boys were playing football on Oremeji Street in Shasha when the ball hit the man who was not in uniform. Another resident, who gave his name as Shola, added Air Force officers stormed the area and beat up some people while searching for the boy and his family. But contrary to claims by some residents that the officer had died, the spokesperson for the Lagos State Police Command, Abimbola Adebisi, on Monday said that the officer is alive. Addressing the rumors that Air Force personnel had been harassing residents, Adebisi said the claim is not true. The Nasarawa State Police Command has arrested a suspect involved in an organ harvesting ring and rescued 3 victims who were allegedly lured and promised promises of 2 million naira each for their kidneys. State Commissioner of Police Shatima Jauro Mohammed made this known during press briefing on Tuesday in Lafia. Correspondent Abubakar Abdullahi sent in the report as presented from our studio.
According to the Commissioner of Police, Shatima Jauro Mohammed, the suspect identified as Maro Ebojo, a 49-year-old man from Delta State, was arrested on November 17, 2025 at the Alhaji Yahya Sabo Motor Park in Lafia. He said preliminary investigations revealed that Ebojo had been sourcing potential organ donors and preparing them for kidney transplants. The commissioner said Ebojo had already taken the victims to a hospital for medical evaluation, adding that one of them had already been moved to Abuja for the transplant before the police intervened.
A distress call was received from Alhaji Yahya Sabo Motor at Motor Park, Bukan City, Lafia, reporting the arrest of a suspect by Motor Park officials for alleged involvement in organ harvesting. Upon receiving the information, I immediately directed the Commissioner of Police. I immediately directed the Divisional Police Officer of B Division, Lafia, to proceed to the scene. The suspect was subsequently handed over to the operative, and 3 victims were successfully rescued.
The Commissioner of Police said operatives swiftly moved to Abuja and rescued the victim, who was being held in a hotel while his blood pressure was being stabilized. The command further said the suspect confessed to the crime and revealed that he had received an advance payment of 500,000 naira from his client, with the agreed amount being 6.5 million naira. He also confessed to having successfully procured a donor for another client for 2 months earlier and received 1 million naira, while the donor was paid 2.5 million naira. In another development at the police command, has announced the arrest of 9 suspects in connection with a string of armed robberies and a case of culpable homicide in the state. The commissioner said the suspects were arrested on November 4, 2025 during a raid on a criminal hideout in Mararaba, Karu local government area.
At about 10:30 hours, police operative attached to Mararaba A Division raided a criminal hideout located along Masbao Street, Mararaba, Karu local government, Nasarawa State. During the operation, the following suspects were arrested. 1. Ahmed Ibrahim, 27 years. Yusuf Abdulaziz, 23 years. Ismaila Abubakar, 18 years. Abdurrahman Mujahidid, 20 years.
He explained that the suspect confessed to the crimes and admitted to carrying out a robbery operation on May 20, 2025 in UK area of Karu local government area, during which they attacked and killed the son of a serving police officer. The Commissioner of Police noted that the suspects are currently being held at the State Criminal Investigation Department SCID in Lafia, and they will be charged to court upon the conclusion of investigation.
Now away from Nigeria, Democratic Republic of the Congo's Mines Minister, Louis Watum Kabamba, and his delegation survived a terrifying aircraft accident on Monday when their plane veered off the runway and erupted into flames while landing in Kolwezi, southern DR Congo. According to Isaac Inyebo, the minister's communications advisor, the aircraft had been flying from Kinshasa when it ran off the runway during landing at Kolwezi Airport in Lualaba province. And now in sports, Nasarawa United technical advisor Mbwas Mangut has promised to work on his team's performance ahead of their next league game against El Kanemi Warriors. The Solid Miners dropped to second position on the league table following a 1-1 draw with Kun Khalifat FC in Owerri on Sunday. Nasarawa United will lock horns with El Kanemi Warriors at the Lafia City Stadium this weekend. And that's a wrap on news update. Do not forget to follow us across all social media platforms for more programs, news and documentaries. I am Dorcas Yakubuzala. Thank you for watching.